did not play in but one or two plays when he snuck out in the field. You know, this is a team that has really ran the course and has pretty much beat up everybody that's played. So, you know, it's not that much of a surprise that they're here.
Exactly. They're 11-1, and the Rams of Pine Richland are 12-0. And there you see Kevin McCabe getting ready to take the field and quarterback his team on the opening drive. And we're just about set here. Oh, some nearly 50 minutes late, but we'll take it, right? It's Western Pennsylvania, the weather, and it's all that kind of good stuff, and we're playing football. And a pretty good crowd turning out. It's an unusual time to have this on a Friday night instead of a Saturday all day long. It's been decent crowds despite the fact they've had to move this up one day earlier.
It has gotten better as the course of the day. You know, I came here for the Rochester-Duquesne game, small crowd. Seat LaSalle, Mars, a little bit better. Now the place is starting to fill out. Not so many yellow seats between the 20s. So, you know, it looks like, you know, maybe even the Woodland Hills game might even pick up a bigger crowd.
And here we go. The AAA game is underway. And here it looks like they're going to try at least the reverse. If they do on the return, all the way up across the 25-yard line is Neil Walker and Chad Nelson with the hit to knock him out of bounds at the 25. So it looks like the Rams will begin play at the 25-yard line. And here's a look at the reverse. It's Greg Huff handing the ball to Walker, and that's a combination we're probably going to see all night long, at least on the receiving end of the football, from handoffs and passes from Kevin McCabe.
Kevin McCabe told me he came down here a couple years ago and sat in Dr. Jack Fayola's booth, sat in one of his boxes to watch one of the Whitfield Championship games. He said, I sat there, I was jittery the whole time. He said, I couldn't come back again. This is his first time down here to watch, first time down for a WPL final since then.
Terry Johnke with the stop of the run by Greg Huff. Here's a look at the offense now. Pine Richland. It's Morrow, Walker, Morris, Conley, and Huff. And watch Conley. He's called the battering ram of this offense when he lines up at fullback and leads the way for Huff. He's the guy that clears out a path. On the line, it's Malone, O'Mahony, Fawcett, Harguest, and Conti. Pretty big line, and they've done a terrific job this year. Second down and 9 now after the 1-yard gain. The short gain on first down. McCabe under center. Man in motion is Neil Walker. Fakes the handoff, loves the play action, got a guy open, and that is Neil Walker, and he's got a first down. Picked up about 11 yards. Matt Fontana with the tackle had the coverage, but Walker was open.
When I talked to Bob Pelko the other night about this team, he played against both teams here. You see Walker, he said nobody can cover this kid one-on-one. It's not even worth trying. They have Matt Fontana on him, trying to cover one-on-one. Walker just knows how to separate himself from the defender, get open, make the catch, make the play.
If he didn't trip, you'd never know. He might have been able to shake the tackler. Brings up first down now. They're up to the 42. Here's the handoff straight ahead to Greg Huff, and he's got no running room. That's Kudak. Mike Kudak with the tackle. A gain of about 2 on the play, and the defense, as we mentioned, 4-4, and this is the way it lines up. Max, John Keith, Bokar, Kudak are the defensive linemen. Kozluzny, Iorio, and Nelson are the linebackers. They also actually run 4 linebackers. One of those guys that'll be a linebacker would be DeBoard, and then they'll have 3 defensive backs, which are McCrory, Fontana, and McMillan would be the safety. So it's a 4-4 set. 4 down linemen, 4 linebackers, 2 defensive backs, and a safety. Back to pass. Got a guy open. Overthrown, though. Little high on McCabe's pass intended for T.J. Holloway, the second string split end. They had 3 wide receivers in that set, Kevin.
Yeah, it's like you said, it was just a little bit overthrown. Holloway was open. He's a small guy, though, and you got to kind of put it on the numbers for a guy like that. I think Kevin's a little used to throwing to Neil Walker, who's 6'2". Holloway's probably more like 5'8", 5'9".
So now it's third down and 8. And McCabe's got stripped right. In the shotgun, takes the snap under a little pressure, and he throws a little high again. This time the pass was intended for Neil Walker, and even at Neil Walker's 6'3", that was a little bit high.
That time, you know, he has a little bit of pressure coming in on him. You see, he's going to take a shot there, but he's throwing the ball a little high, and you got to wonder whether the weather is a factor, whether, you know, the ball's a little slick, or it's just a matter of a little bit of jitters. You know, this is his first drive. He's got out there. Maybe he's a little nervous at this point.
That could be. Here's the punt. Greg Huff doing the punting. It's a little end over end, short. Takes a Fine Richland bounce, though, and rolls all the way down to near the 20, where the Rams will down it. So not a bad result on a poor punt into the wind here at a very chilly Heinz Field. 42-yard punt for Huff. So it will be the Vikings of Hopewell beginning their first possession just inside the 20-yard line. And Kevin, what you would hope that for Hopewell fans would hope anyway, that they would be able to get something going and be able to grind an 80-yard touchdown drive here.
Well, this is the guy right there in charge. You see Matt Fontana, 530 yards passing. But what he really does is get this ball moving. Great ball movement, great fake, really carries it out. He's a threat on the option. He's a threat to keep it. And, you know, he hands it off to Paul Puzzlesny, and it makes him look all that much better.
That's right. Puzzlesny on the first carry, and he goes straight up the middle and picks up about 5 yards, which is pretty positive yardage on first down. You like to see that every time. Here's a look at the Hopewell offense. Iorio, McCrory, Nelson, Bruce, and Puzzlesny are the backs. And there's a look at the line. Purinton, Bokar, Mack, Johnke, and Hudak. Second down and 5, and here's the handoff to the fullback, Mike Bruce. And he looks like he's close to a first down after picking up about 5 yards. Doug Foster, the tackle for the Rams of Fine Richland.
Well, Bruce is a guy that has rushed for 685 yards and 7 touchdowns this season, averaging nearly 5 yards a carry. Very nice change of pace back. I mean, not that much of a change of pace because these guys are just punishing runners. They like to run the ball right up the middle, run hard at you, lower their shoulders, knock you over if they can, keep the legs moving. So he's the kind of guy, you know, you have Paul, a little taller, runs higher. This guy's more of like a bowling ball. He just runs right through the middle, gets some strong yardage. They like to give him the short yardage situations where he can get first down.
That's right, first down by over a football length. So the Hopewell Vikings have it first down now. First and 10, it's just shy of the 30-yard line. And Matt Fontana will take his instructions back to the huddle and tell everybody what Dave Festal wants to run. And they come to the line of scrimmage. Under center now is Fontana. That's Matt McCrory in motion. Takes the handoff, and that is Puzzlesny. He's got a big hole. Takes it up across the 35 to the 38. Ryan Bove with the tackle for the Rams, but not before he picks up about 8.5 or 9 yards. Looks like it'll bring up second down and a long one.
You see Puzzlesny right just burst right through there. He's got great speed. This is the guy that runs a 4.6 40. He's 6'2", 215, 220 in that range. You know, and he's just powerful and strong. And you know what? After a while, guys don't like tackling him anymore.
See why again they end. The first guy through is Mike Bruce. Looks like he's easily got the first down, about a 3-yard gain. Josh Foy with the stop for the Rams. And it will be a first down at the 41-yard line.
Well, keep your eye on number 75, Mike Hudak for Hopewell. He's the right tackle. They seem to be running to the right side. Here's a guy out there playing on basically one leg. He hurt his MCL. They don't know if it's a sprain or a tear, you know, if it's a partial tear. But he hurt it against Thomas Jefferson last week, and the sophomores had to dress him in the locker room at halftime because he had to put on a big bulky brace. And here's a guy playing out there, you know, totally on heart and soul.
That was trips left, and Mike Bruce takes the handoff. They like to call that the east-west formation. Brian Morrow with the tackle for the Rams, and he picks up about 3 yards just over the 45 near the 46.
4 yards, second down and 6. And Hudak's one of the more outspoken guys on the team for Hopewell. He's not a captain, but he's definitely one of the leaders. And, you know, Vestal called him an ornery, tough farmer. That's his type of guy.
The I formation again, fake handoff to the first man through, and that's Puzzlesny. And he takes it up across midfield down to the 49. Neil Walker has to come up from the safety spot in this 4-4 defense to make the stop.
And what you're seeing is Hopewell doing the same thing they did against Thomas Jefferson last week. Just come out, we're going to pound the ball right down your throat. We're going to run it, we're going to punish you, and you're going to have to just withstand this. And that's, you know, Pine Richland's going to have to hope that Hopewell comes up with some kind of turnover, some kind of mistake, because that's what Pine Richland needs. They can't just allow them to drive down the field, because Hopewell can go down there, score, put 7 points on the board, and their defense is good enough to keep you off.
Third and short now, about 1.5 yards, and this is the keeper. Fontana pushes ahead in his line. Looks like he's close. May just sneaked it out. We'll have to see. They're going to bring in the change now for the measurement. Third and short, and they're going to go ahead and give it to him. They don't need to measure it. Got it by about a football length. Down to the 48. That's big line push, isn't it?
Yeah, he just falls right behind the center, Mike Mack, and the left guard, Craig Bokar. You know, just looks like he just all he had to do is get a little push, just dive right across and get the yard.
Here they go again in the power I formation. Gives it to the first man. That's Bruce, and that goes nowhere. Football's on the turf. Let's see. Pine Richland says they got the ball. The officials say no, it's second down after no gain. Didn't look like Bruce really had that. Tom Cannon was the stop, but it didn't look like he really got a clean handoff from Fontana here.
Yeah, it looks like Fontana tried to actually hang on to it. I can't tell if that's number 83, Morrow, but the left end there came in, and yeah, that's 83.
Yep, Morrow.
He came in and, you know, and knocked the ball loose. Somebody from Hopewell had to, you know, they dive on that ball real fast. And, you know, like I was saying, Pine Richland needs to do that. They need to cause a turnover to get a chance to stop this running game.
And they like to run the option. We haven't seen a whole lot of it. Here it is now, though. Fontana buried under. And that'll be a loss of about 5 yards. Greg Huff coming through, and that's why he is just a stud at linebacker. He was able to read that play and bust up the option. No chance for an option. He had to keep it
You
either.
know, Fontana looked to option left, but then he bobbled the ball a little bit. Next thing you know, he glanced up and saw number 21 in his face, and he fell on the ball rather than try to make a play out of it, which is a smart thing to do.
So it brings up third down and 14 now, so they'll go trips right. Actually, 4 receivers to the right. An empty backfield. Fontana rolls to his right. Now gets a little pressure. He's going to have to unload it. He does, but it's out of bounds, incomplete. That'll bring up fourth down. So the Pine Richland Rams defense has held after they gave up a couple of first downs. Hopewell gets out past midfield. They lose about 4 yards on 2 consecutive plays, and then an incomplete pass, so they will be forced to punt.
That was a nice pressure on that play by Morrow and linebacker Doug Foster. Yeah, they really chased him to the sideline and, you know, kind of shortened the field for him. Fontana didn't have much room to go, and he knew that if he stood there and took a lick, he's really going to get a shot.
Neil Walker and Tim Morris will be back for Pine Richland to receive this punt.
Walker's a very dangerous punt returner. I know he had a 75-yarder for a punt return once this season. He's the kind of guy that they're going to kick away from.
Corey's punt is very short, and it'll be down at about the 25-yard line, and that's where Pine Richland will begin their second drive of the game. No score in the first quarter of the AAA game between Pine Richland and Hopewell.
Hey everyone, this is Bob Pratt, and welcome to my world, the world of my good friend George Leon at West End Billiards and their brand new location, Route 19 South in Cannonsburg, the #1 pool table dealer in the nation. West End Billiards, the only dealer for the top 5 brands of pool tables at all the top manufacturers on bars and stools and related game room equipment. Family owned and operated for 40 years. Stop by any of their 3 locations in the North Hills, Murraysville, and the new store, Route 19 South, Cannonsburg. Get the best price and service. It's guaranteed. West End Billiards.
Honey, breakfast is ready.
Okay, Puddin'. Just getting the paper. Good morning. Good morning. Hey. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Hi.
Good morning. What's up?
Hey.
Good morning.
You know, you can get the Trib delivered to your home every day for 13 weeks, just $9.99.
Welcome back to Heinz Field. Pine Richland and Hopewell scoreless here at the 5-minute mark of the first quarter. And the Rams of Pine Richland begin now at their own 25-yard line. The second time they've had the ball. Both teams one possession. Both teams ending up having to punt the football. Here comes Kevin McKay breaking center, walking up. And they'll have a lone setback. And will pitch, and the reverse, the fake reverse, and this is Greg Huff with lots of running room on the left side. He's finally knocked out of bounds, up close to a first down at the 35-yard line. Mike Mack, the defensive end, gets all the way outside to force him out of bounds, but a nice play and a nice pickup. A little trickery here that may or may not have worked as far as deception-wise, but his speed got him outside.
It was a nice call, and you saw Shane Malone hold his block on Mack for a real long time, and let Huff get outside and get some yardage here. You'll see Malone, number 56, he gets on underneath Mack, number 50, and held him out there until Huff could turn the corner.
Kevin McKay back under center now. Got the power eye behind him, and he fakes the handoff, rolls right, and throws outside and drops by Brian Morrow. It was open, looked like it was going to go for some positive yardage and would have picked up the first down, but unfortunately he could not hold on.
McKay was under a little bit of pressure there from Craig Bokar. He's a big guy, you know, only a junior, 6'3", 260. He's a Division I prospect, a guy who's really, had coaches raving about him. I know Thomas Jefferson coach Bill Cherpak. I talked with him last week after they played them, and he said, boy, this kid was a stud.
Well, now it's third and very short. Third and about 6 inches. So they've got a power formation set up, and McCabe just goes straight ahead, and he easily gets it back. He picks up about 3 yards, so that'll be first down for the Rams.
You see McCabe just follow the lead of Jim Fawcett, his center, and his left guard, Ryan O'Mahony. And he just keep his legs driving, get some positive yards, get the first down. That kind of takes some pressure off Kevin, too. If you can get the first down running the ball, then you can, ease up a little bit, put some nice passes out there. Don't have to worry about putting so much zip on him. Just kind of put the touch on the pass.
Blair Ultimus still looking kind of concerned, but his offense is beginning to drive now. McCabe takes the handoff play action. Got a receiver out there. A nice catch by Neil Walker, and he was open, and he gained about 5. Well, tomorrow, college basketball takes center stage as Duquesne takes on Pittsburgh. Coverage begins with Pittsburgh Sports tonight at Peterson Event Center at 7 o'clock right here on Fox Sports Net Pittsburgh. The Panthers rated 5th in one poll, 4th in the other. Looking forward to the season beginning tomorrow night and the new facility as well. Second down now and about 5 yards for the Rams offense. That was a direct snap. We've got to stop and play here. It was a direct snap back to Greg Huff without McCabe under center.
Timeout. Pine Richland.
Pine Richland, they are
First
giving
timeout
him a
of the half.
timeout. It was an interesting setup. Huff was over on the sideline. McCabe was over on the sideline. They direct snapped it to Huff.
Yeah, last week they did a direct snap to Neil Walker, so I think they like to do a little trickery out there. Kevin Rock, the offensive coordinator, he likes to try some different things and keep them off their feet. If Greg Huff can run with it on that one, maybe it's kind of a good thing that they called the timeout there, because he looked like he's wobbling the ball. He might have had some lost yardage on that play.
Exactly. Blair Ultimus maybe getting a little too fancy at that point, but keep that in mind. Maybe they'll come back to it later on in the game. So it brings up second down again after the timeout. 2nd and 5 now, and this time Kevin McCabe is under center. And Huff will line up behind his fullback, Ryan Conley, who, as I mentioned before, Claire calls his battering ram. And if we get a chance later on and we'll get a look at his helmet, I guess it's pretty scarred up. There's the handoff going to Huff. He has some tough yards, getting maybe 1 is all. Trenny Kuznerek is standing by as she's done all day long. Trenny, take it away.
Thank you very much, Pat. Well, we've all heard about Kevin McCabe and how highly recruited he was this year, but so is Neil Walker. He's only a junior. They had to set aside a separate bin in the athletic office just to handle all of his mail for football. But the thing is, his better sport is actually baseball. He's such a good baseball player, and he's already getting looks only as a sophomore. And his father, he played for the Montreal Expos and the St. Louis Cardinals.
Wow. An interesting fact.
Neil's one of the best catchers, not only in Western Pennsylvania, but considered one of the top catchers in the East.
McCabe snowed under a big rush. 2 or 3 of the Vikings. Grant Nelson leading the charge, though, and that is a big loss. A loss of about 9 yards, which will bring up 3rd and 14. He took the shotgun and was, as I said, snowed under, just like the snow here in Western Pennsylvania tonight.
This is what you talk about when you say Hopewell dares teams to pass. They're going to blitz you. They're going to come at you from different angles. These guys are just shooting through the gaps there. Grant Nelson did an excellent job of going straight at Kevin McCabe and dropping him for a loss.
And that was 3rd down. That's a punt that's taken by the Hopewell Vikings, Matt McCrory, and they'll begin in pretty good field position, I'd say, at the 43-yard line. So this is what you'd like as the Vikings defense, is to hold them and then get the ball back after a 24-yard punt. You're in business now at the 43-yard line. Kevin, what have they been doing, the Vikings? Obviously, they're playing well on defense. What did you see in their drive to lend you to believe that they might be able to continue a drive down the field now? They've basically run the ball, as we've said, but more of the same, I guess.
Well, the big thing they're able to do is when they need a short yardage, when they need to get 5 yards, they get it.
This time it's a keeper, and it's Matt Fontana faking the handoff, turning and running straight up the field. Matt Hudak with the block for the Vikings, and that's a 12-yard gain that gives them a first down inside the 45-yard line at the 44, and this is the option we're talking about. They spread the field, Kevin. They had 3 receivers to the right and had the Rams defense so spread out.
Yeah, they have different types of veer option. You know, they ran the option with Andy Robertson a couple years ago when he was the coach. Now they've put in a midline option. They also do some zone blocking where, you know, they have all these different things they can do with the ball.
Buzz Lesney takes the handoff and goes straight ahead for about 4 yards. Looks like Mike Hanna on the stop for the Rams of Pine Richland. And if you're the Vikings, you like the fact that the field position battle now, Kevin, seems to have swung their way.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. That's where that big, you know, the big sack comes in. Pine Richland was near midfield. They get her up for, what, an 8-yard loss and has to punt the ball. Not a very good punt. 2 big plays, and all of a sudden you're inside their territory.
Late moments of the first quarter, now still no score. The handoff straight ahead again to Puzzlesny. He bangs his way for very short yardage, about 2.5 yards. Josh Hoy makes the stop for the Rams, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 2 with just about 1:10 left here in the first quarter.
What I love to see about Puzzlesny is when you watch him run, very, very rarely does he get hit at the line of scrimmage and driven back. Usually he's the one making the initial contact, and usually when that happens, he's going to get a yard or 2 after contact. You know, even if he gets tackled right away, he's going to be falling forward. You don't see that kid get knocked back very often.
Light up night in Pittsburgh, and the snows arrive. There's Puzzlesny straight ahead, and he bangs his way for about 2.5 yards, and that's what he needed. Looks like it'll be a 1st down.
That kind of style wears on you. You know, that's what, like I said, you know, after a while, these linebackers and these defensive guys, they don't want to go up and hit him too many times, because here's a guy who's 215 pounds, and he doesn't have an ounce of fat on him. He's coming up, and he's about 4 or 6 feet, so he's not only a big guy, he's coming at you hard. He's fast.
And it is a 1st down. The official signal at the 34-yard line. The clock restarted now. There's about time for one more play, it looks like, here in the first quarter. And Fontana under center. Drops back, and we're going to see a pass. Deep down the field. Incomplete, overthrown to Matt McCrory. It wasn't really open, it didn't look like, Kevin. It was pretty good coverage by Ryan Bove.
Yeah, that was a nice, you know, you don't see them pass too often. They try to do it to their advantage when they can find a situation where it's a one-on-one. You know, looking deep for McCrory, but he, like you said, he was with them step for step. And, you know, even if he wasn't, it looked like it was maybe sailing out of bounds a little bit.
The Vikings are moving with the wind, so that ball tends to sail a little bit, especially in the open end here at Heinz Field. That brings up 2nd and 10 after the incomplete pass. And in motion is Puzzlesny now. There's a handoff to McCrory, and he's got some running room. He's finally tripped up after an about 11-yard gain down to the 24-yard line. That was Mike Hudak, we said his name a few times tonight, with a great block to kind of spring McCrory.
There's a nice change of pace back, and there's a guy who's a little smaller,
That's
quicker.
the end of the first quarter.
Inside handoff and gets a nice big gain for Hopewell. And the big thing about this, they didn't score. They're changing the other side of the field. They're going to be able to kick into the close end of the stadium.
Exactly.
They've had some trouble in the open end.
Back with the second quarter right after this.
It takes a team to turn an empty office into a comfortable, functional workplace. It begins with designers who can maximize your floor space. Experts who consistently deliver the lowest prices on fine furniture from Hahn and Allsteel. And experienced installers who have earned their reputation over nearly half a century. Expertise, experience, and excellence. Trust the business furniture team at Workplace Furnishings by Mount Lebanon Office Equipment.
Premier Lincoln Mercury used vehicles starting at just $49.95. Premier Lincoln Mercury luxury sport and SUV. Premier Lincoln Mercury, your certified pre-owned dealer, save thousands. Premier Lincoln Mercury, many cars under $10,000. Premier Lincoln Mercury, bankruptcy, bad credit, or no credit, you could have pre-approved credit right now. Premier Lincoln Mercury, you could get that second chance you deserve. Premier Lincoln Mercury. Used cars start at just $49.95 at Premier Lincoln Mercury, Route 19 North, Cranberry Township.
You got a buck, you're in luck. Grimace. What with it?
Got a buck? You're in luck, because on McDonald's Dollar Menu, you can get a delicious beefy big and tasty or a McChicken sandwich for just $1. Or you can add on a snack-sized fruit and yogurt parfait, McValue fries, 2 pies, or more. All for just $1 each. Every day at McDonald's.
You got a buck? You're in luck. We should take this act on the road. Maybe not.
College football Saturday. The Cougars can smell the roses, but they want more. For the Huskies, an upset makes their season. College football Saturday, presented by Kyocera on Fox Sports Net.
Pittsburgh has a nightly sports report dedicated to hometown teams and hometown highlights. Your team, your town, your show. Pittsburgh Sports Tonight, nightly at 10 on Fox Sports Net.
The AAA championship game of the WPIAL playoffs here on Fox Sports Net. Pine Richland and Hopewell playing to a 0-0 score so far. We begin the second quarter. The Vikings moving now first down at the 24-yard line of the Rams. Here's Fontana, the handoff straight ahead to Puzlesny, and very little running room there. Gets about 2 yards. Shane Malone, the defensive tackle, with the stop for the Rams. Let's take a look at the first quarter statistics. Hopewell with the slight edge all the way down the board. Just 21 total yards for Pine Richland, 61 for Hopewell. Time of possession easily in the Vikings' favor, and it's the same with the total number of plays. But on the scoreboard, the thing that matters, nothing. Second down and a long 8 now. Fontana, the handoff to Puzlesny, tries to cut back. There's no running room at all. He gets about a yard, maybe a yard and a half. Let's call it 2 down to the 21. And that is Doug Foster on the stop. Trenny Kuznerek standing by on the sideline. Trenny.
Well, guys, you touched on it a little bit earlier that Paul Puzlesny and Kevin McCabe are friends. They became friends all the way back when they played AAU baseball together, and they stayed friends because both of their brothers played baseball together at West Virginia. Also, both of them are pretty good football players. Kevin McCabe will go to the University of Virginia. Puzlesny will go to Penn State.
Thank you, Trenny. Third down now, and 7 for the Vikings of Hopewell. Fontana, nobody in the backfield, drops back to pass, tries to throw back, and does. Complete to Matt McCrory. Not much there, and he's brought down by Ryan Smith. And that's after a loss of 1 yard. Just never seemed to develop, Kevin.
Yeah, McCrory might have even been better off to let that ball drop in terms of being incompletion because he loses a couple yards there. As you see, Fontana he's looking for that back screen, but he gets in trouble. And, you know, the pass a little bit short. McCrory makes a nice catch, but for a loss of yardage.
It's a long throw, actually, when you think about it, when you roll that far right and you've got a guy who's out in his left flat.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a screen pass anymore at that point.
Yeah. So it is now 4th and 8.
Timeout.
And it looks like Hopewell's going to take a timeout to decide what they're going to do. They are going into the wind, but as you mentioned earlier, Kevin, this is the closed end they're going into, which generally kickers have had better success here at Heinz Field over the 2 years of its existence.
Well, we just saw, you know, in the previous game, Mars scores a touchdown in the open end, and the extra point goes wide right. So that's something, you know, you don't really want to have to kick in that end if you don't have to.
Coming up Wednesday, the Pittsburgh Penguins return to the ice to take on John LeClaire and the cross-state rival Philadelphia Flyers. Coverage begins at 7:30 right here on Fox Sports Net. You don't want to miss that. Those games are usually great. Maybe this time the Penguins can defeat those dreaded Flyers. So they've thought about it. You know what? As miserable a night as it is, the fans are still enjoying it and enjoying the food and festivity here at Heinz Field.
Yeah, they're making us hungry in those Quaker steak and the wings.
They're going to go for it, it looks like. At least they're lining up. The Vikings are. Fontana on 4th and 8. Takes the handoff, drops back, throws, and it's caught. And that is a first down. The catch by Josh Pagorek. First time we've called his game tonight. Pagorek, 6'4" junior, 175 pounds. He really has been their #1 receiver. 10 receptions this year, just 1 touchdown, though.
10 receptions for one touchdown. Maybe a bad game for Neil Walker. Big season for Pagorek, though. They don't pass the ball that often, but when they do, like I said, situation, you can see one-on-one coverage here. Pagorek gets open, cuts outside, makes a nice jumping grab, gets up there, and nice big play. Very big play for Hopewell.
First and goal to 6, straight ahead to Puzlesny. Not much there. Gets about a yard and a half back to Pagorek. The tackle by Josh Hoy. Back to Pagorek. Dave Vestal told me he has the best hands of anybody on the team. In fact, he classified them as great hands. Unfortunately, they don't get to use them very much.
No, it's a very rare thing for them to pass the ball. They've already passed more than I expected them already today. But you know, maybe that's the kind of thing, you know, when somebody's expecting you to run every single down, then you can take advantage by coming with, you know, using your alternative plays.
This is the drive for Hopewell. You're going to want to remember this is the 12th player that drives. Second and goal from the 5, handoff, and that is a touchdown by Paul Puslesny. Straight ahead, 5 yards, really untouched. Kevin, in the first score of the game, goes to the Vikings, and their star running back, Paul Puslesny.
Well, you see Paul Puslesny on a counter right here. Comes across untouched. Well, they got a little, nobody was going to grab. You're not going to tackle this kid by his knees. You got to get him, you got to hit him really low. You're not going to arm tackle Paul Puslesny.
Terry Johnke, we're going to give him credit for one of the key blocks, number 52, the right guard. They're going to line up now after the 5-yard touchdown run by Puslesny. A 12-play, 57-yard drive, 5 minutes and 19 seconds. They try the extra point. It is up and good by Matt McCrory. And the Hopewell Vikings strike first. They lead behind Richland in the AAA championship game 7-0. 9:07 left in the second quarter. Back with more after this.
This patient is getting a new treatment at one of the best clinical cancer centers in America, where tumors are tracked and destroyed without invading the body, and powerful new drugs can wipe out cancer cells wherever they find them. But today, her treatment will be different, because it's for her spirit. The Allegheny Cancer Center, part of the West Penn Allegheny Cancer Institute.
Honey, breakfast is ready.
Okay, Puddin'. Just getting the paper. Good morning. Good morning. Hey. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Hi.
Good morning. What's up?
Hey.
Good morning.
You know, you can get the Trib delivered to your home every day for 13 weeks, just $9.99.
Welcome back to Heinz Field. Hopewell leading 7-0. Kevin, you expect the Vikings to want to put together a 12-play drive, but you don't expect the Rams to give up a 12-play drive.
No, that's what they can't afford to do. They can't afford to let Hopewell just punish them up and down the field. They're going to wear them out if they do that. And they're also going to eat up the clock. And when you get behind, you need to have the clock on your side.
A little squib kick straight down the middle, taken by one of the up guys. That'll be brought down at about the 30, well, pushed forward to about the 36-yard line. Derek Mudkis with the tackle.
Looks like that was Pat Nicholas on the return.
Yeah, looks like Pat Nicholas, number 82, is also a receiver for and halfback for Pine Richland. He brought it up to about the 37-yard line, and that's where the Rams will begin. And Claire Ultimus' team hoping to answer the drive put up by the Vikings to take a 7-0 lead. Here comes Kevin McCabe back up to the line of scrimmage. Single setback. In motion goes Neil Walker. Takes the snap, hands off to Huff, and Huff fighting, and finally brought down at the 44-yard line. Terry Johnke and Kirk McMillan bringing him down, but not before he was able to pick up about 7 yards.
Here we see Huff. You know, he's just a tough runner. He's not going to go down on one hit. You see, like you said, it's going to take a couple guys to knock him down.
So second down and 3 now for McCabe. Call it a long 2. Straight ahead to Huff. Throws a tackle, breaks another, spins around, easily gets the first down after a 9-yard gain. Nate Iorio, one of the outside linebackers for the Vikings, is finally able to bring him down. That's the kind of, he's not an easy guy to tackle, Kevin.
Here you see Huff is going to get wrapped up by Puslesny and a couple other guys, but he spins off of that. Just, you know, cuts to his left a little bit. It's going to take, like I said, 3-4 guys to knock this guy down. You can't just, you're not going to tackle him up high. And that's the mistake Puslesny did. He tried to tackle him up high. He and McCrory had him wrapped, but that's not good enough.
So the Rams now at the 45-yard line of Hopewell. The pitch goes to Huff, tries to get outside. Will get about 2 yards on the play, stays in bounds, so the clock continues to move. Hudak and Nelson couple of the guys over there for the Vikings to make sure that he did not get any more than the 2 yards he was able to gain.
Well, they ran to the short side of the field, and the pitch was a little bit high and to the right. So Huff didn't have that much room, and then he had to kind of slow down his momentum to catch the ball. So he didn't really get off to a good start there. But when you run to the short side of the field, you can't afford to make those kind of minor mistakes.
Kevin McCabe gets the play from the sideline, runs back in, calls it, and now gets up to the line of scrimmage, facing the 2nd and 8. Man in motion again, Neil Walker coming to the near side. Fakes the handoff, play action, tries to go to Walker and completes the pass. Nice grab. And he's able to pick up only about 4 yards. Matt Fontana, the quarterback, also plays to one of the defensive backs, the cornerback, and he was able to make the tackle. But again, a nice catch.
Yeah, it was a great catch by Walker, which, the kid's got terrific hands. But, Fontana's all over him. Great coverage. Get a nice little ankle tackle there.
So that brings up 3rd and a long 3 for the Rams of Pine Richland. They're trying to answer the drive just put up by the Vikings. There's the snap and the quick pitch. And Huff tries to cut back, and there's no running room whatsoever. Puzzluzny, that's why he's going to Penn State at linebacker U. He shows why there.
The Vikings just swarmed to the ball. You see Bokar, you see Puzzluzny, you see a sea of blue over there. 5 guys surrounded Huff. He really had nowhere to go. All he did was, dive forward and try to get a couple extra positive yards, knowing that he's not going to get the first down and that they're going to have to punt the ball.
Got to be getting a little frustrating for the Rams as they're forced to punt now at the 40-yard line of Hopewell. Back to punt is Huff. End over end. It's taken. Fair caught. And hit. Matt McCrory actually gets kind of bumped into after he'd already called for the fair catch. No flags, though, and that's where the Vikings will take over at their own 13-yard line.
Well, you see number 40, Mike Ross, running off the field there. He looked like he wasn't sure whether they had signaled for a fair catch or not, and he wrapped them up, but he didn't really hit him. He didn't, it wasn't like he was in there to cause any injury. He just was playing it safe. But you heard the Hopewell fans. They wanted a penalty. They wanted to see a flag on that one.
27-yard punt. No return because of the fair catch. And again, they begin at their own 13-yard line. Matt Fontana with the I formation behind him. Looks like the Rams jumped off sides unless they were drawn off. We'll have to wait and see, but looks like a couple of them have jumped off sides.
Well, this could be a crucial drive right here. We just saw the Steve LaSalle game. Late in the 2nd quarter, Steve LaSalle gets an interception.
Dead ball.
Goes for a touchdown.
Encroachment.
Was encroachment offside.
5 yards.
5-yard penalty. Let's take a look at the drive by the Vikings of Hopewell. You can see, first it was Fontana with the keeper on the option going straight up the middle, Kevin. And then that terrific pass here to Pregoric. And nice hands by Pregoric. Great catch, and that really set up the touchdown here.
Yeah, Paul Puzzluzny just pretty much walked in untouched. And at that point, they'd already done a lot of damage with Pregoric's pass.
And we just caught the end here of the next play on 1st and 5. It went to Mike Bruce straight at the middle of the fullback. He's able to get about a yard and a half. So it'll bring up 2nd down, and we'll call it a long 2.
Well, the one thing Dave Vestal talked to me about with his team, they have 19 seniors, and he said, we really have a great chemistry. The people in Hopewell Township, they knew they had a good group coming up through the ranks. These are kids that had beaten Alice Cook in football and basketball. Coming up, that's something that Hopewell kids just didn't do. And he said, we have great chemistry, and we have some great leaders on this team.
Keeper on the option, then he pitches it outside the Puzzluzny. Not much running room, and he's not even able to get back to the line of scrimmage. In fact, Neil Walker and Andrew Hargast are able to corral him, and he loses 2 yards back to the 19.
Well, I think the guy who makes this play out here, I think, is number 23, Brian Smith. He really shortens the field and allows Walker to come in and make the tackle.
So that forces now a 3rd down and 4. Instead of being 2nd and 2, it's now 3rd and 4, which changes things dramatically, although you're still deep in your own territory, so you're probably not going to try too much. They do line up in the I formation. Fontana hands off. He takes the handoff, beg your pardon, keeps it himself, spins, and Doug Foster and Josh Hoy are able to bring him down. It looks like just short of the 1st down. He got very close, but it looks like they're going to measure it He needed to get right to the 23-yard line, and the ball looks like it's right at the 23. So unless, Kevin, you want to guess?
Well, I'm sure they'll come out and measure, but it looks like he has a pretty good shot at getting it. I would say that it's, the hash marks are gone there, so it's kind of hard to tell. But it's my guess that he got the first down.
I think the hash marks were gone about the halftime of the single-A game, weren't they?
Oh yeah.
Stretched the chains, and they did by a full football length. Kevin Gorman got it right. So it's first down now for the Vikings as they're able to continue their drive and try to eat up some more clock, which they've done tremendously here. 11:59 to 7:43, and we're at the 4:18 mark of the second quarter. And ball control was part 2 of Dave Vestal's plan. Part 1 was stop the run, force them to pass, and part 2 was control the football.
And they've done that. Like you said, 4-minute advantage in the time possession. Matt Fontana's really done a good job with the ball fakes. Like you said, you thought he hands it off. Yep. Then he holds on to it for a second. He's got such quick feet that he can get away, do a little stutter step and get away from everybody.
This time he does hand off to Pozlesny. Big hole. Can't quite break the last tackle, though. A 7-yard gain. And that was Pat Nicholas making the saving tackle. That might have gone a long way had he shaken that last
it looked like Pozlesny was ready. Was ready to open up his stride there. You see him kind of do a little hop step, and it looked like he was ready to take off to the races.
Hudak again with a ceiling block that's able to spring that and give him a big hole over the right side. So it's now 2nd and 3 for the Vikings. And Fontana comes up to the line of scrimmage, 88 yards so far, just rushing the football. He's actually completed a couple of passes as well.
There's a big disparity in the rushing yards, 66-yard advantage for Hopewell.
And that was straight ahead to Mike Bruce. Neil Walker comes up from a safety position to make the tackle. Walker held to just about a yard. Here's another look at it. First man through.
And Bokar seals him off on the outside. Bruce follows the block and gets a couple yards.
So it'll be 3rd and a very long one, nearly 2 yards for the Vikings. This could be a big play for Pine Richland. They do not want to let him continue this drive. They're running out of time, really, here in the first half to even get the ball back. 3-back set now. Handoff goes to Pozlesny, and he falls forward. I think he's got the first down and ran for about 2 and just got over the 34, near the 35. He just needed to get past the 33 and a half. Doug Foster, the linebacker for the Rams, makes the stop, and it is a first down.
It's only a matter of time before Hopewell breaks one of these. They've been getting 5, 6, 7, 8 yards on a lot of these runs. It's only a matter of time before, Pozlesny puts the brakes on, makes a move, and takes off. He's not really your breakaway back, but he is a kid who has, if given the opportunity, he can take it the distance.
There goes Fontana. He's going to drop back and throw the ball, and he throws deep. And it's going to be a pass interference call. He was being held up by Neil Walker, and the receiver on the play was Matt McCrory, right, and Matt McCrory was being held up by Neil Walker, and so the flag was thrown. He was able to get back underneath the football, and there were a lot of air thrown under that football, so there was time, and he nearly got to it anyway.
Yeah, there's a little bump in it, but it was on both sides, but it looked like the ball was going out of bounds. I don't know if it was a catchable ball, but, you give him the benefit of the doubt right now. That's a play that could really hurt Pine Richland. It puts them in midfield at this point.
Pass interference.
Right.
On the defense. 15 yards. That's an automatic first down.
So remember that one takes them up to the 50 with 2:09 left in the half. That's basically a free 15 yards because the clock was actually going against Hopewell the way they run the football. And here suddenly now the field's only 50 yards long for him. So it is 1st and 10 at midfield. Fontana with a full house backfield, fakes the pitch, spins, and goes ahead forward for about 4 yards.
He's so quick with those moves. You see him, he fakes the pitch, spins off, and bounces the other way left. He's going in the opposite direction, too. The whole play's going to the right. He's going to the left, so, kind of going against the grain of the defense there.
Greg Huff brings him down after the gain of about 4 yards. So it's 2nd down now, and the clock continues to move. We're at 1:40 in the second quarter. Fontana up to the line of scrimmage again, a full house backfield. And he'll hand off to Pozlesny. There's a flag on the play. Pozlesny gets about 4 yards. clock stops. It'll be a hold, more than likely, and they'll bring it back.
Well, you talk about Paul Pozlesny. He's a guy, a major college Division I recruit for Hopewell. They haven't had many of those. Now, back in 1972, they had a guy named Tony Dorsett, who has a street named after him outside here. But they had 5 Division I recruits in that class. Ed Wilimowski, who went to Pitt. Linebackers Dan Haynes and Butch Bass went to Cincinnati. And center Jeff Ferguson went to Wake Forest. They didn't have any recruits, Division I recruits, since 1991 before Paul. That was Cradle Kimbrough. He was a 1991 graduate. He went to Cincinnati. The last time Hopewell had a Division I recruit, they played in the WPL championship game. That's how important having a big-time player on your team can be. It's not everything, but it certainly means a lot.
Yeah, it certainly can put you over the top, and it seems to have done that for the Vikings of Hopewell so far. They're going to go with trips right and an empty backfield for Fontana here on 2nd and 15 at the 45, and he's going to keep it. And he's got a lot of running room straight ahead. He picks up 20, gets down to the 36-yard line, and that's Neil Walker, the safety, finally making the stop, but lots and lots of running room. When he fakes that spin, he's able to create a lot of space for himself as the defense is running the wrong way.
Oh, and everybody followed Paul on that play. You know, there's a guy, like I said, having a Division I player, everybody had to pay attention to Pozlesny. Here's this kid, Matt Fontana, just so quick. Makes great play. Neil Walker saves a touchdown right there. You know, Neil Walker's an underrated defensive back. Everybody talks about him as a wide receiver. He's a terrific safety.
Full house backfield again. Fontana on the option, keeps it, runs into a tackler, and then falls down after about a yard gain. Doug Foster with the stop for the Rams. All 3 Hopewell possessions now, Kevin, as timeout's being called by the Vikings. All 3 of their possessions are 10 plays or more, so they're just dominating the line of scrimmage, dominating the time of possession. If you're Pine Richland, you're not used to this. You're 12-0, and you're not having these kinds of problems. So what does Claire Ultimus do now to get his team, first of all, to stop them here so they can go into the locker room only trailing 7-0? Yeah,
they're going to have to make some halftime adjustments. Not only has the defense been on the field for these long drives, but Kevin McKay's been off the field. And that's what really has been disruptive, is that he's not in the rhythm of the game. And here's a guy who's staying on the sidelines cold, shivering, you know, trying to keep his hands warm, trying to keep his feet moving and everything. Well, the rest of those guys are out there, and they're getting worn down. They're making tackle after tackle. You know, the guys he gets to throw the ball to, Huff is going to carry the ball, and Walker's going to be catching the ball. And those are the 2 guys out there making most of these tackles.
Right.
So, you know, that's going to wear on Pine Richland's offense as much as it does its defense.
Yeah, that's what you get when you play both ways. Vikings have 8 starters going both ways. The Rams have 5 starters going both ways.
And Kevin McCabe can't beat you on the sidelines. That's, you know, I'm sure that's part of Hopewell's strategy, is keep that kid off the field.
Exactly. Full house backfield again. Fakes the handoff for Fontana. Looks like he's going long, but he gets a little too much air under that. Nearly intercepted by the Rams. And that was Brian Smith, number 23, nearly picking that pass off. It looked like Fontana got a little too much air under that. Didn't come off. It wasn't a tight spiral.
No, you see, here it is again. You know, nice play action. Fontana drops back, has a lot of time, and has McCrory open on, you know, behind the defense. But, you know, like you said, you see these snow flurries, and they're just flying all over the place. It's not like the rain was, you know, going one direction. It's swirling winds underneath there. And if you put too much air in the ball, it's just going to get caught and taken by the wind.
We saw that in your AA game as well, that the balls were getting about halfway down there and then fluttering a little bit. Here's Fontana on the end around, and that is Pozlesny with the ball, and he gets about 3 yards, and they're going to have to call timeout now. Foster and Huff both making the stop, and again, that'll bring up 3rd down and about 7. And so Hopewell has to call a timeout here with 13 seconds left. I guess it's 4th down, I'm sorry, and the decision is really no decision. You're going to have to try to get a ball in the end zone, I would think, at this point.
That's it. You know, otherwise, you might as well just head to the locker room. You know, if you're not going to go for the end zone, you might as well just sit on it, you know. But why even give Kevin McCabe a chance to come back out in the field? You know, I doubt Pine Richland would try to do anything foolish, but at the same time, you know, you don't want the kid back on the field, especially when they can pass the ball. Especially as he's going to have the wind at his back, too.
And Hopewell's out of timeout, so if you're thinking that they could get a 1st down, get the clock stopped and call timeout, they can't. The clock would, of course, stop on a 1st down, but only briefly, and then they would have to hustle it up. So it looks like this could be their final play of the half. So we'll have to see what they decide to do here as they come back out on the field after the timeout.
Well, you can see how pivotal a touchdown could be in this game. We just looked at St. LaSalle goes in 14-0 at the half. This one, Hopewell, a team that's dominating the line of scrimmage. If they can score here, they can really be in a comfortable lead.
Puzzlesny in motion, and now Fontana throwing it up for Puzzlesny. And again, the ball hangs up, and it is knocked down. Great defensive work by Ryan Bove, it looked like, on the pass defense. Knocked the ball down, didn't even try to intercept it, decided the best thing to do in that point, and it would be on fourth down, is just knock it down, because your team's going to get the ball, if at worst, back up at the 34-yard line.
Yeah, Paul Puzzlesny against West Allegheny, which was one of the better games I saw this year, a 7-0 game. They split him out wide, took advantage of one-on-one coverage, and sent him deep. The ball was underthrown, but it was a much nicer night then.
Right.
Nice warm weather, nice fall air. We're into the winter winds right now. But Puzzlesny kind of waited for the ball and then just outran everybody, and that was the difference right there.
McCabe takes the knee, and that'll do it for the first half as the clock strikes 0, and it is 7-0 Hopewell over Pine Richland. And we've mentioned it a couple of times now, but I think it's worth repeating. The streamers on the goalpost, you can see them blowing from our left.
Doing all the camera work and everything. You're giving me credit for doing a doubleheader. These guys are doing quadruple headers, and they're out there in the elements. They're dealing with not just the coldness, but the wind and the rain and the snow.
Patrick Humes kickoff squibbed, and that is taken by Matt McCrory, and he's finally brought down up across the 30-yard line to about the 32, and that's where the Vikings of Hopewell will begin, leading the game 7-0 here at the start of the third quarter.
Now, McCrory's been one of those guys, a very versatile player for the Vikings. Returns punts, returns kickoffs. He had a touchdown on a reverse against Thomas Jefferson and against Knox. This is a guy that he's done so much for the team, and he really has an inspirational story. We'll tell you a little bit more about it after this play.
All right, here they go. First play of the second half from scrimmage. That's Fontana. He's going to hand off on the delay to Puzzlesny. Not much there. Gets about 2 yards. That's Doug Foster, linebacker for the Rams, in that 4-4 defense, bringing him down after nearly a 2-yard gain. We'll give him a 2 yards up to the 34-yard line.
Well, Matt's mother, Tammy McCrory, she passed away this past, I believe it was, late August, right before their first game against North Hills. Matt, lost his mother. She had a long battle with cancer. She was very courageous and fought it for a long time. He handled it very well, and Dave Vessel said, that made us feel like more of a family.
Matt Fontana keeping on the option, and he goes straight ahead for about 11 yards. And you talk about that family, and that certainly, as Josh Hoy is credited with the tackle of Fontana, it certainly is evident when you talk to Dave Vestal about his team that they have come together, not only this year because of the tragedy involving McCrory's mother, but also the fact that they lost this championship game last year in a heavy junior-laden team.
Yeah, and that's one of those things. These kids are together for so many months of the year. In the locker room, on the practice field, in the games. And they hang out afterwards. So that these kids, the whole football team went to the funeral home. They signed a football, put it in their casket. And so that's just, it tells you how much your teammates care about you when they do those kind of things.
That's Mike Bruce, the first man through, and he is stopped after a no gain whatsoever at the line of scrimmage by the Rams. Brian Morrow, he was the first one there, and it was actually the entire defensive line, the 4-4 defense, the down lineman clogging up the middle for Mike Bruce to go nowhere. So maybe a half a yard. They'll give him one, call it 2nd and 9 now at the 44-yard line of Hopewell.
And you really can see the Pine Richland defense trying to toughen up here. Let's see if we can hold them this time. Let's see if we can get the ball back and try to get some offensive firepower of our own.
Trips left, Fontana keeps. Big hole after the fake, and he has gotten to the outside. It's a foot race now, and he's finally knocked down inside the 15-yard line. Matt Fontana with a game-breaking run of 41 yards for the senior quarterback from Hopewell.
Fontana once again just showing us what great speed he has. Nice play action there. He goes off, takes off to the left side, gets a nice little field block from Pergoric, and he gets out there, and it's off to the races at that point.
Timeout. Pine Richland.
Well, this is definitely a
First
timeout
time
that
out of the house.
Claire Ultimus says, I've got to regroup my defense. They're already looking tired. They're already with their backs against the wall. They can't afford to go down 14-0 in this kind of a game because getting 14 points in the second half for the Rams looks nearly impossible at this point.
And when you have Matt Fontana, 8 carries, 86 yards already, and we just started the third quarter, there's a guy, you know, that's the guy you want to have the ball in your hand. You know, ball in his hands, you know, he's not going to make the mistakes. He's not going to, you know, do things that are going to hurt you. And he's going to come out and surprise them just because of how many different things he's capable of doing. I mean, whether it's a ball fake or carrying out a fake or running the ball himself or throwing it on occasion.
Trenny Kuznerek standing by down near the end zone where Hopewell's marching towards. Trenny?
Well, Pat, you guys talked a lot about family. Matt Fontana's parents own a restaurant called Carol's in Hopewell, and that's where the team eats before every game. The restaurant has pictures of every senior football player and the cheerleaders, and the waitresses have all the kids' names on their back.
Wonder who has Fontana as he hands off to Kozlowski, and Kozlowski gets around the right end, shakes one tackle, one man to beat, and he's finally dragged down just inside the 5 at the 3-yard line, and that was Neil Walker making the touchdown-saving tackle as Kozlowski got to the outside.
When you see this play, Matt Fontana hands the ball off and starts a little premature celebration. Shortly after handing the ball off, he can kind of tell that Paul Kozlowski's about to break one. That's how much confidence he has in Paul. You know, these guys are best friends. They've grown up together, and, you know, you can just tell that he sees them. You see him raise his finger there. You know, if it's not for Neil Walker, Paul's in the end zone.
First and goal now at the 4-yard line of the Rams from Pine Richland. Kozlowski, 68 yards, looking for his second touchdown, but this time it's Mike Bruce, the fullback, taking the handoff and going straight up the middle for the 4-yard touchdown. The ground attack of the Vikings is just dominating this one. 9:46 to go in the third quarter, and they're up 13-0.
And here's Mike Bruce. He's kind of the unsung hero of that backfield. Here's a guy just powers his way into the end zone, dives across there. There you go. You come into the game with 685 yards. That was his 8th touchdown. He's averaging almost 5 yards a carry. That's pretty nice numbers for a fullback.
6-play, 68-yard drive, 2 minutes and 14 seconds. They're about to try to tack on the extra point here. This is the close, then they're going into more success there, and that's good. So the score, 14-0. The Hopewell Vikings leading the Pine Richland Rams with 9:46 to go in the third quarter. Back with more after this.
We don't bring together hospitals just to get big. We don't have our own health plans just to be in the insurance business. We don't invest in doctors and technology or follow the U.S. News rankings of best hospitals just to pat ourselves on the back. We do it so the people of Western Pennsylvania get the finest care in the country. Right here. At UPMC, we don't have one good reason for why we do what we do. We have 4,000,001.
Welcome back to Heinz Field. Hopewell leading Pine Richland 14-0 in the AAA championship game. Opening drive of the second half, they march down, and if you are a Pine Richland Rams fan, it is your worst nightmare to see the Vikings march right down on the opening drive of the second half. Absolutely what Claire Ultimus did not want to have happen to his defense.
Well, that's what he came out of the halftime saying, I think we got some momentum. We had a big stop. You know, we got a lot of confidence coming off of that. Now, good thing you got a 2,000-yard passer quarterback and possibly the best quarterback in the state. You know, this is a time when Kevin McCabe has to come out and shine for the Rams.
There's the boot. Picked up by Craig Huff. He finds some running room, finally shakes loose, gets across the 35 to the 37, so Grant Nelson with the takedown, and it looks like the Rams have some pretty good field position to begin operating with, and finally, it seems like forever since we've seen Kevin McCabe out there. The last time we saw him, he was just taking a knee at the end of the first half. 6-play, 68-yard scoring drive, 2 minutes and 14 seconds, a 3-yard run by Bruce. Puts them up 14-0. As I mentioned, here comes Kevin McCabe, finally back under center so he can begin operation. for the Pine Richland Rams, trailing 14-zip. There's the handoff to Greg Huff, and he is smothered for no gain. Craig Bokar leading the charge for the Vikings defense. Again, no gain, brings up second down and 10.
Well, there's plenty of time left in this game, but it's pretty obvious that Pine Richland needs to throw the ball. They've established that they're going to be able to move the ball a little bit with the run, but they're not going to be able to drive down the field on Hopewell like Hopewell has done to Pine Richland. So Kevin McCabe's going to have to come out there. He's going to have to be precise. He's going to have to be efficient. He's going to have to move the ball down the field and really, kind of open up that Hopewell defense that's been stacking the line.
Twin receivers to the left. And now as Neil Walker was in motion, here's McCabe back to pass, and he's got a receiver wide open, and that's tough. And he's finally pulled down at about the 28-yard line. A huge game. Josh Gregorek on the defensive coverage. But how do you let Greg Huff, their top player, besides McCabe, but their top back, to get that wide open, Kevin?
Well, they had man coverage on the left-hand side, and they both cut across field. So you see Huff wide open on the left. He had a linebacker covering him. So, he had the opening, and, Gregorek makes a big tackle. If it's one-on-one coverage there, you see McCabe makes a nice toss there, hits him in stride, beautiful pass.
35 yards on the pickup, down to the 33. So Pine Richland trying to get something going, and they are so far. McCabe takes the handoff, play action, tries to throw, does out to the side to Neil Walker, and he is knocked out of bounds at the 14-yard line. And the Pine Richland Rams, deepest penetration easily so far in this game. They're down to the 14.
And this is what Pine Richland's all about. This is their game. This is the type of offense that they've been showing all season. You see them get the ball out to Neil Walker, get it to him quick, and let him do his thing. And this kid is as good as anybody doing his thing. He shakes Matt Fontana, then he puts the brakes on. Right, there's two guys go by him. Here's a guy, boy, get the ball in his hands.
Yes. Now Pine Richland. Handoff ahead. Greg Huff, about 3 yards. Mike Mack with the stop for the Vikings. And this is the kind of drive, I just said that 14-0 is a huge deficit, but you answer quickly, and suddenly the confidence and the momentum can shift.
Well, the one thing that was nice about that Hopewell drive, even if it was a scoring drive, it was only 6 plays. They weren't on the field all that long, so Kevin McCabe didn't stay on the sidelines all that long. He wasn't standing there saying, oh, when am I going to get back on the field? It was over quick. He's back out there. Now it's time to let's change gears and let's get back into this game.
Second down now at the 11-yard line. 2nd and 7. McCabe drops straight back, looking, getting pressured now, and he's going to throw the football away. Nobody open at all. In fact, Neil Walker had double coverage on him, and that was where McCabe was looking, and he was pressured big time by Terry Johnke, number 52, the defensive tackle, 5'9", 260, the senior Johnke.
Well, you see Johnke pressuring him, and Johnke actually gets a piece of him at the very end of this play, grabs him by the ankle, which is the worst thing that could have happened. You saw Kevin McCabe limping off the field a little bit there, trying to limp it off. Here's another look at that pressure. Johnke gets him around the ankle. McCabe has had some ankle problems. He broke his ankle as a freshman, and had pins inserted in his right ankle, and then last year he re-injured and missed a couple games. So this is not the kid you want to have.
He's definitely favoring his left ankle as he brings his team back up the line of scrimmage under center, takes the snap, drops straight back to pass, and he throws. Neil Walker was the intended receiver, but great coverage by Matt Fontana, able to break things up. And Greg Nelson getting some pressure on as well. So Matt Fontana is now limping off the field, brings up 4th down. And they're going to line up for a field goal try. It looks like for the Rams, it'll be Billy White, who is the holder on this. He's the sophomore backup quarterback. He also holds for placements on place kicks. Patrick Humes, the kicker. The snap is down and up, and it looks like it is good. And so, Pine Richland finally gets on the board, and maybe that, more than anything, is the psychological boost for this team that had done nothing all game, and suddenly now they were able to march the ball right down the field in 7 plays and end it with a field goal. Maybe not the touchdown you wanted, but still 7:23 left here in the 3rd quarter, Kevin.
Well, at least they came away with something, but I would think that Pine Richland, a scary sight there for them to see Kevin Kevin McCabe limping around the way he was. You know, the backup quarterback is Neil Walker, so Walker could very easily go in and play quarterback, but then who is your best receiver? Then you have to throw to the tight end, Brian Morrow or Tim Morris. You know, you take away your best receiver by doing that. So, you know, they got to hope that Kevin McCabe can, you know, walk this off, that it's not too serious, that he can play through this, because this certainly limits his mobility.
28-yard field goal, 7-play, 52-yard drive in just 2 minutes and 22 seconds. So when Pine Richland gets it going, they move down the field quickly, and that's the savior for them. Is there's still most of this half to play, and they're now trailing by the score 14-3. Getting set for the kickoff now after Pine Richland does convert on the 28-yard field goal. And Kevin, I don't know if you noticed, but not only is the snow about as heavy as we've seen it, but it seems to come in waves, and then the wind pushes it. It's really kind of nasty looking. You wouldn't want to be out there playing it.
I don't know if I even want to be out there sitting in it, to be honest with that.
There's a squib kick. And that goes for not much. Matt McCrory returning this one up to about the 29-yard line. Alex Simmons makes the stop for the Rams. So the Vikings get the ball right back after holding Pine Richland to a field goal at the 28-yard line, their own 28. You expect more of the same. Ball control offense. Try to turn this into a 72-yard touchdown drive that'll lead up most of this third quarter.
Well, Pine Richland needs a big defensive play. They need to force a turnover, whether it's an interception or a fumble recovery. You know, get a penalty, you know, some kind of draw hopewell into a penalty or something.
Trips right, Fontana spins, takes the handoff, and then keeps it. Goes forward for about 6 yards, up to the 34-yard line. And that play, when they spread that defense out by putting trips to the right, it's worked every time, almost without fail, to spread that defense, Kevin, and get Fontana some running room.
Well, that's the threat he poses, that he can pass the ball. It's not his specialty by any means, but he is a capable passer, and you know they have some good athletes out there, receivers. So when they do that, you have to be, you know, they keep you honest. You have to cover them.
Second down and 4 now for the Vikings. Looks like offsides on Pine Richland. Somebody jumped. That is Matt Stott that jumped. Let's go down to Trini Kuzmarek, who's got an update on Kevin McCabe.
Well, good news, guys, for Pine Richland. Kevin McCabe, it seems that he just turned his ankle. An assistant coach told me he's trying to walk it off. He's pacing the sideline, walking it off and shaking it off. He should return to the game.
Good ball. Encroachment on the defense. 5 yards, previous spot. That's enough for a first down.
Well, it is good news for Pine Richland that Kevin McCabe looks like he'll be back in the football game. Not good news, though, on a second and 4 yards that you jump off sides and give them a first down. It's hard enough when you're trying to stop this Hopewell offense, but to give them the 5 yards is something you just can't do, Kevin.
No, that's like I was saying. You know, they need to draw the penalty, not cause them.
So Matt Fontana brings his team back up. First down now at the 40-yard line. Handoff goes to Puzlesny. Ahead for about 5. It seems like every time they're giving the ball to him, it's a 5-yard gain. It's a 7-yard gain. There's just positive yardage on nearly every play. And again, the clock continues to run.
And not only that, he gets the positive yardage when you really need it. You know, a lot of times, 3rd and short, he's going to get those 5-yard runs. You know, 4th and 2, he's going to get the 2, 3 yards. That's what's really just, you know, disheartening when you're on defense. Is not only is the guy going to get his yards, I mean, 19 rushes, 73 yards. Like I said, he hasn't really broken one, but he's getting the short yardage every time they need it.
3 receivers to the right, and around. Here we go to Puzlesny. This time, though, he's wrapped up by Tom Cannon, the linebacker for the Rams. Picks up just 1 yard. And just as soon as I say he picks up 5 yards every time, here he goes. He only gets 1.
Making us look bad, Paul. Well, I think they read that play very nice. You know, like inside handoff, him coming around. Didn't really have much room to go.
No, Cannon really clogged that up and was able to make the stop despite the fact he had a blocker right on him. So now it brings up 3rd down and 4. Just you were talking about Kevin a minute ago. This is the kind of area where generally Puzlesny can pick up the yardage, and they're going to go in the power eye or the straight eye formation here. Takes the handoff, and Fontana just keeps it straight at the middle. He breaks the tackle and tries to break another and gets across the 40 down to the 39-yard line, easily picking up the first down. And how many times have we seen that maybe it's something Dave Vestal sees or knows from his own offense that you're susceptible to this on the option, and that's the quarterback spinning around and keeping it.
Wow, he does that just so well. You don't see too many quarterbacks. I mean, Tyler Pelko last year had that kind of presence in the pocket where he knew when he could take that kind of play and really turn it into a big game. But you don't see too many quarterbacks that just, that are not the triple option Cecil Howard type. That just make that play time after time.
Good comparison, Cecil Howard. Here's the handoff this time to Mike Bruce, who had a touchdown earlier, and he goes straight ahead for about 3 yards. Andy Harguest and Doug Foster making the stop. And it's Matt Fontana, you'd have to say at this point, although he does it completely different than Kevin McCabe, but he's outplaying Kevin McCabe at this point because of his ability to run the football and get all those yards.
Well, the big thing he's done is he's kept his team on the field where McCabe hasn't been able to stay on the field for very long, And it's not necessarily through Kevin McCabe's own fault, but,
right.
Fontana's been able to keep his team on the field, whether it's putting the ball in somebody else's hands or his own.
Full house backfield now. Handoff goes to Pozlesny, sidesteps one tackle, but he's stopped after about 2 yards, which will bring up 3rd and 5. And the Rams kind of clogging up the middle there and at least slowing down Pozlesny on that carry.
The one big thing Fontana does, too, is he seems to be able to get the first down. Whether, however you need to do it, he gets the first down. He keeps the chains moving.
The offensive line of the Vikings, Kevin, seems to be really wearing down that defensive front four, at least, of the Rams to the point where they can open a big hole up the middle for them.
Yeah, and that's just, like I said, they're going to come at you all night. That these are big, physical kids. And they're tough kids, and they kind of got that mean mentality that they're gonna run you over.
That's encroachment. They jumped into the neutral zone, the Rams. So again, on a 3rd and 5, Brian Morrow jumps, it looks like, and so now you've got the situation where it could be a potential first down. Mike Nana also jumping for the Rams of Pine Richland. Here they go, jumping into the neutral zone, and they flagged them. They're going to march off the 5 yards.
Good ball.
It's going to be very close to a first down.
Encroachment on the defense. 5 yards, previous spot. That's enough for a first down.
Kevin, I don't care who you are or who you're playing. If you're dominating the time of possession, 22 minutes and 43 seconds to 10-13, you're going to have the lead on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I mean, 12 minutes right there. You have a quarter. If you have the ball, a quarter more than they do.
That was a first down. So at the 30-yard line, the Vikings of Hopewell have a new fresh set of downs. Full house backfield again for Matt Fontana. He takes the handoff, gives it to Pozlesny, tries to bounce outside, flag down. He's down after no gain. That's Doug Foster making the stop for the Rams. And here's the call. Holding on the Vikings. About the only thing that slowed them down tonight occasionally has been the rare penalty, but it's happened to them once or twice, and it happens to them here. And it looks like
44.
10 yards.
Yeah, that's
from the spot of
Nate
the foul.
Iorio.
Remains first down.
It's only holding if they catch it. Well, that time they caught him. So here we go. Now it's going to be 1st and 21 after the penalty. Iorio comes out of the game. And Matt Fontana gets instructions. So he's headed back out on the field as the play clock winds. 1st and 21 now for the Vikings. This is the kind of stop the Rams have to make here.
Yeah, this is a crucial play here, 1st and 21.
Fontana keeps it this time. I was going to say he was bottled up, but then he falls forward for about 4, maybe 5 yards. So even when you think you have him stopped at the line of scrimmage, he's able to kind of squeeze his way through.
At least they were expecting it this time, though. I think he's caught them off guard with, the little spin around, takes off around the middle, little play action, everything's going to the right. He goes kind of off left a little bit. But the one thing Pine Richland has done is, twice they've had encroachment penalties. And, 3rd and 5, it's tough enough for Hopewell to get a first down, and then you give it to them.
Nate Iorio back in, one of the two backs lined up in the backfield along with Pozlesny. Fontana, it's going to look like he's going to throw it anyway, and he goes deep down the field to Pozlesny, and it's underthrown and then intercepted by Ryan Bove. Back up to the 22-yard line, and Kevin, exactly what you said the Pine Richland defense had to do, and that was come up with a turnover, and Ryan Bove on the underthrown pass finally makes the interception.
Well, the one big thing, you see 2nd and 17, they're going to have to throw the ball at some point. When you split Paul Posluszny out wide, these guys were all over him, 3-4 guys around him. Bove makes the interception. It's going to be a big turning point in this game, possibly. McCabe's limping out to the quarterback, so he's going to take the snap.
Neil Walker was putting the pressure on Paul Posluszny and might have grabbed him. The Hopewell faithful are booing. Pine Richland faithful are cheering. Here's McCabe with the handoff, and it goes to Huff, and Huff, not much running room there, gets a couple. Mike Mack and Mike Hudak with the stop.
Well, I think Hopewell got a pass interference penalty thrown, against Pine Richland a little earlier today. You're not going to get too many breaks like that, so you have to take advantage of them when they do come. This time they didn't get the break.
So a crucial turnover. Ryan Bove coming up with it there. You see getting the congratulations from his teammates. As Kevin McCabe comes back up under center. 2nd down now and 7. And it's batted away.
Looks like it was Paul Posluszny.
Yeah, Posluszny got in there with the pressure and was able to bat it away.
Well, that's what happens when you're 6'3" and you got the wingspan of probably a 6'5" guy. And here's a guy who's a great athlete. He's a basketball player. He can probably dunk with ease. So you can't. It seemed like McCabe patted the ball a few times. He probably took a little too long to let that play to develop.
So now it's 3rd and 7, long 6, we'll call it, for Kevin McCabe. And that's Huff in motion. McCabe drops back. He's looking, he's rolling under pressure. He throws out here, and it's incomplete. The pass towards T.J. Holloway, but it was underthrown a little bit. So McCabe, as you mentioned, got to be a little... He's definitely not into the flow of the game. He's not warmed up. He's not out there a lot. So maybe these passes are becoming more and more difficult because of the cold weather.
Well, he really seems to be favoring that ankle, too. And like I said, it's limited his mobility. I mean, this is a guy who's not the fastest guy in the world anyway. He has a 3-step drop, quick release, very accurate passer. Mobility is not his forte. It's not his strong point at all. And, if you're throwing off of 1 foot, too, that really doesn't help you at all either.
Huff with his 4th punt of the game. And that is McCrory trying to return it, but he gets about a yard on the return. And so the Vikings take over in very good field position after the interception. Now a punt, and they get the ball back. And there's 39 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. And now you got to think that Hopewell, any kind of a sustained drive here and any points at all, could certainly put themselves in a favorable spot to lock up this game.
Well, they certainly have a chance to really run out the clock, at least for the 3rd quarter. And, they'll be facing the other way. The only disadvantage to that is you're kicking into the wind. But when you have the lead, you don't worry so much about the kicking game.
Here's Matt Fontana. Hands off to the first man through, and that's Mike Bruce. And he's able to pick up a couple, maybe 3. And that's Andrew Hargest on the stop for the Rams, who desperately need another stop or another turnover, certainly, Kevin.
Well, Hopewell's a team that has, a young head coach in Dave Vestal, but they have some veterans on the staff, and one of the guys is Pat Tarquinio. He's a volunteer coach, member of the Pennsylvania Scholastic Football Coaches Hall of Fame. 34 years he was the head coach at Beaver High School. His team's won 241 games, 12 conference titles, and 3 Whitfield championships.
Well, his team is now trailing 14-3. End of the 3rd quarter, back with the 4th in the AAA championship game at Heinz Field after this.
Honey, breakfast is ready.
Okay, Puddin'. Just getting the paper. Good morning. Good morning. Hey. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Hi.
Good morning. What's up?
Hey.
Good morning.
You can get the crib delivered to your home every day for 13 weeks, just $9.99.
You got a buck, you're in luck. Grimace. Bump with me.
Got a buck? You're in luck, because on McDonald's Dollar Menu, you can get a delicious beefy big and tasty or McChicken sandwich for just $1. Or you can add on a snack-sized fruit and yogurt parfait, McValue fries, 2 pies, or more, all for just $1 each, every day at McDonald's.
You got a buck, you're in luck. We should take this act on the road. Maybe not.
This patient is getting a new treatment at one of the best clinical cancer centers in America, where tumors are tracked and destroyed without invading the body, and powerful new drugs can wipe out cancer cells wherever they find them. But today, her treatment will be different, because it's for her spirit. The Allegheny Cancer Center, part of the West Penn Allegheny Cancer Institute.
Don Flutie achieved greatness on the gridiron, but his son's autism became his toughest challenge.
This is his calling in life.
Beyond the Glory, Sunday at 8 on Fox Sports Net.
College football Saturday. The Cougars can smell the roses, but they want more. For the Huskies, an upset makes their season. College football Saturday, presented by Kyocera on Fox Sports Net.
Well, the Pine Richland Rams cheerleaders, a little something to cheer about here in the second half. They were able to put together a sustained drive and get a field goal to cut the lead to 14-3. Still an uphill climb, though, now, as Hopewell has the ball at the 46, Kevin, second down and 7. That's Matt Fontana, back under center. 3 receivers to his right, and now it's Kozlowski in motion. Handoff. And that is Matt McCrory on the end around and gets stuffed at the line of scrimmage, and that's stopped. Take a look at Matt Fontana. Kevin, there was that spin and straight up the middle, and he got a first down a couple of times in the third quarter.
Oh, he's just been phenomenal tonight. You know, that's one of the things. You come in here, you talk about Paul Kozlowski versus Kevin McCabe. Matt Fontana's been the star of this game.
Third down now and 8. And the keeper this time picks up about 2. Josh Hoy with the stop for the Rams. And finally, Pine Richland stops them and forces the punt. So for the first time in the second half, the Vikings will have to punt the football. Here's the Tribune Review game summary. Fontana, 111 yards rushing. Pine Richland, 17 to Hopewell, 231. And a 14-minute advantage for the Vikings in time of possession. That's why they lead the scoreboard at 14-3. Now the punt. Pressure on it. And that's blocked and picked up. Returned all the way down by Tim Morris. In for the touchdown. Exactly what they wanted. Shane Malone with the block, 56 yards. And it's returned for the touchdown by Tim Morris, and Morris suddenly turns this game around on one play.
Oh, that's a huge play. That could be a pivotal turning point in this game. You see McCrory go to punt, and they came flying in. I mean, they had that line stacked with, I think they had 10 guys up on the line. Malone got in there, blocked it, and went right into Morris's hands. I mean, they couldn't have been in a better place.
That is Shane Malone. We're going to call timeout. Let's think about timeout. Going for the 2 here and cutting the lead to 14-11 instead of 14-10 with the extra point. It's exactly what, if you're Pine Richland, it's the one thing you can really, really hope for is some kind of a big play. As you mentioned before, we thought it would maybe a turnover of some kind, an interception, a fumble. It turns out to be a special teams play.
Hey, maybe they took a page from the Virginia Tech Hokies blocking a punt like that. How about Shane Malone? Here's a kid who plays offensive guard and defensive tackle. 2 of the least glamorous positions on the field. Comes out and makes the biggest play for Pine Richland so far this season.
Shane Malone, the senior, 6 foot, 208 pounds, plays both ways. He also plays left tackle on the offense. Well, this time as a defensive tackle on the special teams. He's a lineman. He breaks through. A lot of pressure, as you mentioned, and they were able to block the punt. And then Tim Morris takes it back for the touchdown.
And there's a guy playing out of position, playing strictly on heart and soul. A lot of teams hit the a fullback or a tight end.
Right.
He's playing the offensive defensive
So
line.
here comes Kevin McCabe trying to get the 2-point conversion, and that's going nowhere. 2-point try fails. Neil Walker. So 14-9. Pine Richland's definitely back in it. 10:35 to play here in the AAA game. Back with more after this.
Do you take pride in what you do? Do others recognize you as a leader? Are you passionate about education and mentoring young people? If so, the Academy has an opportunity for you. A nationally recognized innovator in working with today's youth, the Academy is currently seeking individuals to teach, counsel, and coach the next generation. For more information, call the Academy at 412-885-5200. The Academy, where hard work and dedication still matter.
You got a buck, you're in luck. Grimace, bump with me.
Got a buck? You're in luck, because on McDonald's Dollar Menu, you can get a delicious beefy big and tasty or McChicken sandwich for just $1. Or you can add on a snack-sized fruit and yogurt parfait, McValue fries, 2 pies, or more, all for just $1 each, every day at McDonald's.
You got a buck, you're in luck. We should take this act on the road. Maybe not.
The WPIL Football Championships on Fox Sports Net are brought to you by the UPMC Health System. Choose your health care as if your life depended on it.
You saw a direct snap to Neil Walker on the two-point conversion. Obviously, Pine Richland's thinking is, let's get 2 points, make it 14-11. We can tie the game with a field goal, if need be, go into overtime, potentially. You know, thinking ahead. Yeah, right now, they're still down by a touchdown.
Right, it's a gamble. You don't know if you're ever going to get a chance to kick a field goal, but you might as well try it. The ball rolls off the tee. The wind is really swirling, as we mentioned. Comes out of the north predominantly, but when you get in here to Heinz Field with the closed end, it can start swirling, and it gusts at times. The snow is let up. There's one bright spot. And so Pine Richland will have C.J. Holloway hold the ball on the kick. This is Patrick Hume. There's a short kick, and it goes to Matt McCrory. He seems to always get the ball on kickoffs. No matter where they kick off, he seems to be the guy that touches the ball, and he brings it back up to about the 34-yard line for Hopewell.
Well, sometimes guys want the ball, and sometimes guys don't. You know, every once in a while, you'll see a short kick, and you'll see the guy that the ball's kicked to. He turns and lets it go right by him. Matt McCrory always runs right up to the ball. He wants it in his hands. He wants to try to make a play happen.
So Matt Fontana now has to respond after the blocked punt that led to a touchdown. Takes the ball, hands it off. Kozlesny bounces to the outside, and he picks up a first down. Another one picks up about 14 yards up to the 47. Tonight, another high school football champion will be crowned in the WPIL Division Quad A Championship. Coverage begins at 8:45 right here on Fox Sports Net, or about as soon as this game gets over. So we'll delay it a little bit, but sometime tonight, I promise, Stan Stavron and Don Yanessa will get to call Woodland Hills and Penn Hills. Yeah, it wouldn't be 8:45 because that's about right now. This is Fontana, the first man through this time, Mike Bruce, and he powers his way up for about 7. I guess when you get inspired a little bit like Hopewell's offense has been now that the game's back hotly contested again, you go to your power, and that's your running game.
You know, they turn to Paul Leslie one play, Mike Bruce the next, Matt Fontana will probably be running the next play. It's just one after another. You got a three-headed monster back there.
8 yards on the first down. Now it's 2nd and 2. Fontana under center. He's going to hand it to Kozlesny. Lots of room on the outside. Shakes his way up for about a 10-yard gain, and that's another first down. Pat Nicholas with the stop for Pine Richland, but not before he picked up 10 yards. And again, Kozlesny, he does it on defense, and he's doing it again tonight on offense.
What really impresses me about Kozlesny is that when he was a sophomore, he played receiver. They moved him to tailback last year, and he's really become a physical, very physical back. And here's a guy who's a receiver.
Gets the ball again this time, though, stacked up. Pine Richland smelled that. Andrew Hargest, one of the guys that met him right at the line of scrimmage for no gain. They need more of those plays, Kevin, if they want to get... They've gotten back in the ball game, but if they want to make sure that Hopewell doesn't go down and score an answer and put the game back out of reach, they've got to come up with some stops.
In fairness to Kevin McCabe, they have to give him a chance to go out and have an opportunity to win this game. And right now, he's come in, with a deficit. If he can come in with a 14-9 game, make a few plays happen, and, Pine Richland has a shot.
Sure they do. This is the up back. That's Mike Bruce. He picks up 6, picks up 7. Let's go down to Trenny Kuzniak. Trenny.
Well, guys, the Pine Richland sideline took a whole different turn after that block punt return for a touchdown. When I was down here before checking on Kevin McCabe, a lot of the guys had their heads down, their hands in their pockets. After that, they're pumping up the crowd, and they're trying to get back in this one.
Thanks, Trent. He brings up third and a long one, nearly two. We'll call it 3rd and 2. Matt Fontana, handoff to Kozlowski. He's stacked up. I don't think he got it, Kevin. This is going to be close. It's on the spot, but it's very close.
What's amazing about that play is I'm watching is Pine Richland has too many men on the field, and 56 Malone was trying to run off the field. He was the extra guy.
Well, no wonder they were able to hold him to 2 yards. They had 12 guys out there.
Well, they sent one of their corners off because he was closer to the sideline. So it was interesting watching this 56 sprint toward the sideline, and then when 23, the corner, Brian Smith, when he took off and ran off the sideline, Malone tried to put on the brakes, and he slipped and fell. Now, if they had tried to pass the ball, you have a guy wide open on the left-hand side, although that was never their intention.
They're short by a couple of football lengths. Let's call it a yard. And no, this is 4-down territory, definitely, I would say. Kevin, you got a score on the Perry's, what is it, the quarterfinals of the PIAA?
Yeah, the winner of the Perry Clearfield game will play the winner of this WPIAL Class AAA final. Perry is now leading 54-0 in the 4th quarter over Clearfield. Unbelievable how the Commodores just seem to do it every single week, regardless of who the opponent is. You know, there was a big fallacy was that Perry was beating up on just the City League teams. Perry might be one of the most talented teams in the entire state, regardless of classification. They have as many as 8 Division I players on this team, 6 in the senior class. I think they're a team that has a shot to win the state title. Whoever wins this game has their hands full, I'll tell you that much.
You're exactly right. And there's Fontana on the keeper, and he just pushes his way ahead. The offensive line knocking the defensive line of Pine Richland back about 2 yards, and he easily picks up the first down, and that was huge. Pine Richland really needed to stop there. So it'll be first down now at the 25. Here's a look at that push by the offensive line. And like I said, 2 yards, Kevin, they got off the ball.
Well, you know, sometimes you see the offensive line push and the quarterback kind of wait and then, you know, follow the lineman. Matt Fontana kind of crawled between their legs. You know, it seemed like he tried to sneak between them.
First and 10 now to 24. Fontana on the outside. He's going to keep it. Find a little bit of room. Gets down to the 20 for a pickup of nearly 4. Ryan Bove brings him down at the 20-yard line. So Matt Fontana, it's methodical, it's workmanlike, but they're getting the job done. They 5 yards here, 7 yards here. They get stopped once, they come right back, and they seem to get it even when they have to go on 4th down.
Well, I think that's what frustrates so many coaches when they see having a guy like Kozlowski. When you got a Division I player in the backfield, and you know you have to go out and stop him, having a quarterback like Matt Fontana really makes it difficult because you can't just key your whole game plan on stopping Kozlowski because then Fontana will kill you.
This time they did stop Kozlowski, and it was Brian Morrow that made the stop, got into the backfield and wrapped him up before he really could get straight to the line and get going. So that'll bring up 3rd down now and 6 for the Hopewell Vikings. But the clock continues to run, Kevin, now down to 6:35, and there's a look at the time of possession in the second half. Even more dominating. We thought it was bad in the first. It's even worse in the second half.
And you know that this game would even seem to be more dominating if it was not for that block punt.
So Lesney in the fake handoff. Look at this. Fontana keeps it, and he is gone. A 20-yard touchdown on 3rd and 6. He takes the handoff to Kozlowski, had the defense going the wrong way, a big hole, and he's in for the touchdown. May have sealed it, Kevin, for Hopewell right there.
Just another of the, how many big plays did this guy made tonight? This might be the biggest of them all.
Oh, I would agree. It's the same play we've been seeing. They'll fake the handoff to Kozlowski, and with the Pine Richland defense having to spend so much time worrying about Kozlowski, it's opened it up for Matt Fontana. So with 6:14 to go, Hopewell lines up for the point after try. A bad snap. On the run now and throwing, and it is intercepted, so it's 2-point try. The 2-point try then would be no good. And so Hopewell takes a 20-9 lead now with just over 6 minutes to go in the 4th quarter here in the AAA championship game on Fox Sports Net.
There's something genuinely healthy about competition. It eliminates complacency, pushes people to new heights, encourages ingenuity, inspires new ideas. Our idea is to put healthcare decisions in the hands of the people who know healthcare best. The doctors. With UPMC Health Plan, the people who decide what care is covered are the same people who determine what care is needed. Find out more about UPMC Health Plan. It's a better way of providing health care. The other way was overdue for some competition. UPMC Health Plan. Choose your health care as if your life depended on it.
Hopewell Vikings fans jumping for joy here at Heinz Field, leading 20-9 now late in the fourth quarter. Some stats that are astounding, Kevin. 10-play, 66-yard drive, capped off by that 20-yard touchdown run by Fontana. He has 15 carries for 139 yards. Richland tonight, 27 plays offensively. Hopewell, 62. Domination.
Fontana averaging what? 9.3 yards per carry.
Well, that'll get it done.
Some quick math in my head.
Richland now.
Or maybe on my calculator.
Maybe your calculator's sitting right there. The squib kick, Richland needing something to happen and happen quickly. And that's Neil Walker with the ball. He can usually get something done, but this time he's able to carry it over to the 30, and that's just about it. Mike Vanucci with the tackle for Hopewell on the kick coverage unit. You look at the quarter-by-quarter score, and the first quarter was dominated by Hopewell, but no score. And then they, as I said before, methodically just marched down the field and scored 3 touchdowns in each of the subsequent quarters. So Kevin McCabe still a little bit hobbled by that ankle injury, but it looks like he's moving a little bit better now. He's going to be facing a stiff wind as he drives towards it. Drops back, has a man open, and drops. That was Neil Walker with the pass in his hands and unable to hold on to it.
Second drop for him today. That one might have been the most crucial right there. You know, they really need to get on the board quick and get the ball back. You know, try to get an onside kick, or obviously they haven't been able to make the defensive stops and get the ball back so quickly. So they need to get on the board and try to close the gap in this game. And that play right there might have got some momentum going. Now, second down, they only have a couple plays left. They haven't been able to really sustain a long drive.
So it is 2nd and 10 for McCabe. Lines up under center. Toss. Looks like a fake reverse, and now a halfback pass. That is Greg Huff, who throws back to McCabe. We've got all kinds of trickery going on here, and wide open, and then dropped. That was A.J. Metzger, who's wide open, but then the ball was dropped. Matt Fontana on the coverage. I don't know what you call it. They don't draw this one up, I don't think, Kevin.
No. Kevin McCabe was smart enough to get back and get out of the way deep enough that Huff, had an outlet there. Nice pass. Look who breaks it up. Look who breaks it up. Number 1, Matt Fontana.
Yep.
He's all over the place. Here's a guy, started the season, he was a safety last year, started the season at outside linebacker. They had Pregoric at free safety.
Oh, just overthrown there. The pass by McCabe, just overthrown to Neil Walker, and that would have been enough for a first down. Instead, now brings up 4th down and 10.
Well, they had Pregoric at free safety, and then Matt McCrory got hurt and missed 2.5 games. So they moved Fontana, who'd been playing linebacker, to cornerback. Now here's a guy who's shown some versatility. He's played safety, corner, linebacker on defense. And so they decided, hey, he's doing a good job. Let's leave him out there.
Well, he's an athlete, and he's proving it tonight. Able to run the football, run that option offense, hand the ball off well to both his backs, but I think he's been doing it with his own feet tonight, and that's been to the surprise of most of us and probably to Richland as well. Trailing now, they've got to go for it on 4th and 10 with 5:44 left at their own 32. Shotgun to McCabe, under pressure, steps up, still under pressure, throws, and he's got it complete to Neil Walker, who breaks the tackle. One more man to beat, and that's Fontana, and he does it. It's a 67-yard, 68-yard touchdown. McCabe to Walker, and just like that on 4th and 10, you figure that Hopewell's got them right where they want them. McCabe, Tim Morris with a great block, and Kevin, this is the kind of explosive offense we thought we'd see earlier in the game.
Well, that's what Kevin McCabe, just such a great presence in the pocket. The blitz comes in, he steps forward. He makes a off of 1 foot, makes a pass. Neil Walker makes a great catch, sidesteps the guy, and goes the distance. That's the kind of plays.
Well, they're going to go for 2 here after the 68-yard touchdown with 5:29 left. They're going to go for 2 so they can again try to cut the lead to 3. McCabe back in the shotgun again. Takes the pass, roll, and he is smothered. Loses the football, but he'll be down. And that is Mike Mack. Yes, Mike Mack with the pressure is able to grab McCabe and throw him to the ground. So the 2-point conversion is no good. Here's another look at the touchdown and the great catch by Neil Walker. And Matt Fontana, first Walker shakes one tackle. And we talked about Matt Fontana, but he gets turned around there. The blocking by Tim Morris really helped seal that touchdown.
Look at the presence of mind Neil Walker has. Not only does he hurdle one defender, but then he turns in and cuts back out, turns Fontana out, so he has to turn his back on him, and then cuts back to the outside. Here's a guy who didn't play football in 9th grade. 10th grade came out for the team. He's 6'2", 6'3", about 200. He's got a little belly on him. They put him at tight end. After a couple of games at tight end, they say, hey, this kid's got some pretty good hands. They move him out to receiver. He ends up having 22 catches, becomes McCabe's favorite target. And people are saying, hey, this guy's a Division I football prospect, and he's even a better baseball player. His future's in baseball. Everybody thinks this guy's going to be a major leaguer. Here he is. He's a dominant player on the football field when he's, a receiver. And, a year and a half ago, he's playing tight end.
4-play, 68-yard drive. All 68 yards coming on the 4th down play. Time of possession, 45 seconds. That's exactly what you need if you're Pine Richland. Not that you want to do it on 4th down, but you want to do it in 45 seconds, and you're right back in the game, trailing by 5 now with 5:29 left. Looks like they're going to attempt, at least lining up to attempt an onside kick. But he pooches it. Looks like it might go out of bounds, and it does. Trenny Kuznick standing by. Trenny, take it away.
Well, guys, Hopewell did something a little bit different this year. After losing last year in the Whitfield Finals, they allowed their players to choose their captain. So this year they chose Matt Fontana, Mike Mack, Terry Jonke, and Paul Kozlowski as their captain. And look what they did. They led them all the way to the Whitfield Finals.
Thanks, Trenny. I don't think that's what Patrick Humes had in mind there when he tried to kind of pop that ball up and get it over away from the defenders there, the receiving team there, and it goes out of bounds, and that's costly.
Well, they had everybody loaded to the left side. He kicks it to the right. They have one guy racing down the right side. They were hoping, just a short little pooch over to him, catch it maybe on one bounce and head right for the end zone. That's what they had in mind.
Pine Richland now in the second half, thanks to a couple of touchdowns, or at least one offensive, that 68-yarder starting to catch up a little bit with the yardage. Here's Matt Fontana. Keeping it, he spins and fights. Looked like he was going to get knocked down in the backfield. Instead, it's positive yardage, about 5 yards out to the 40. Neil Walker brings him down, but not before he picks up 5. And now the clock becomes the enemy of Pine Richland. A couple of first downs, and
well, that's what they need to prevent. They have 5 minutes. It's not the end of the world right now, but if you're going to let them sustain another one of these long drives, you're in trouble.
Well, Matt Fontana's been able to do it all night, and that's come up with the big drives and the big plays. 2nd and 5 now at the 40, and this is the handoff to Kozlowski. He's knocking the football's loose, and it's Pine Richland saying they've got it, and the officials say that Brian Morrow recovers the Kozlowski fumble at the 43-yard line.
Defensive end Andrew Hargis. He's the one who tackled Kozlowski. He had him wrapped around the knee. So when Kozlowski fell, he fell right on his arms. As you can see here, falls, that's the kind of big plays that you need to happen.
Andrew Hargis, you're right. The big play, the strip, and suddenly the momentum is completely, who would have thought this 10 minutes of clock ago? There was no way you would have predicted that Pine Richland could come back from being a couple of touchdowns down, but they're doing it right now. The handoff Still on his feet, and that's Greg Huff. Looked like he was down after a 3-yard gain. Instead, he gets all the way down to the 35.
Well, Huff did what coaches love. He kept his legs moving. He kept them driving, and when he got stuck at the line of scrimmage, he just kept pumping and pumping until something opened up, bounced to the outside, then cut back inside. Nice big gain for Greg Huff.
Fireworks going off. It's light up night, but we're plenty of fireworks here going on right now, I would say, Kevin Gorman, as Claire Ultimate's team never lost faith. Kevin McCabe has never lost his faith, and he's bringing his team back right now. Takes the handoff, play action, throws it outside to Neil Walker, who else? And that is a first down after a 7-yard, maybe an 8-yard gain down inside the 30 to the 29.
I'll tell you what, those two they have such a, Claire Ultimates like to say they're on the same wavelength. They have such a great connection out there. But it's terrific to see, Kevin McCabe is now getting his chance. And this is what he's waited for the whole time, and not to say Kevin didn't play a good game, but it was kind of a 3-and-out type thing. Now it's his chance to go out there and say, hey, I'm a big-time quarterback. This is my time of the game.
Now it's up to the Hopewell Viking defense to try to make a stop, and that's the pitch to Huff, and he's strung out outside and tackled, knocked out of bounds. Actually, they're going to say he was inbounds by Daniel DeBoard.
I'm going to tell you something I really like. This is going back a few plays, but when Andrew Hargis had that fumble, the best thing he did was he hung on to Paul Poslesley's legs and didn't let him recover it.
Yep. Here's the play strung out. And DeBoard finally gets him down. That's going to be a 2-yard loss, so it brings up 2nd and 12. And I mentioned Hopewell Vikings need to make a stop here. So McCabe faces 2nd and long. Under center, takes the snap, play action once again, pumps once, throws long. That ball nearly picked off by Hopewell's Josh Pagoric, standing back there playing center field. He read that one the entire way.
Well, you saw McCabe pump, but Mike Mack's got a shot on him. And Pagoric, boy, he's probably kicking himself right now knowing that he could have had an interception that might have sealed this game.
Certainly would have. Matt Fontana with great coverage on Neil Walker as well. He wasn't open despite the fact there was a safety standing there waiting and just knocked that play away. So that brings a 3rd and 12 now. Got to figure it's 2-down territory anyway, but this becomes a very big play for Hopewell to stop Pine Richland. A very big play for the Rams to try to continue this drive. Shotgun knocked away. The pass knocked away by Poslesley. And there he is again. And big plays made by big players at the critical times. And here was one by Poslesley on defense, going to Penn State to play linebacker.
Like you said, this is a critical juncture. Got some pressure in there. Poslesley reads the play all the way. I mean, almost intercepted. If he catches that ball, he's gone.
Yeah, Huff was definitely able to turn upfield and not have anybody in the way. Timeout now by Pine Richland. So with 3:08 to go and 4th down and 12, there's no sense taking any chances. You need to call your guys, get into the huddle if you're Claire Ultimus or the offensive coordinator, and get in there and talk about it and see what you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, I have to tell you, Kevin Rock's in there, trying to get everything going. But this is one of those deals. They have got to get the first down. Some people are, they may try to go deep, but I think the important thing is get the first down. Let's keep this drive going. You got 3 minutes. This isn't do or die right now as far as getting into the end zone. So you need to get 13 yards.
Well, as the fireworks continue to blast around Heinz Field outside, Kevin McCabe hopes for a couple more fireworks on the field. He desperately needs a first down here. 4th and 12 at the Hopewell 31-yard line. This is the season for both teams, if you look at it, if you think about it. Trips right now. McCabe in the shotgun, takes the snap, dumps it off, and that is complete. All the way down to the 15-yard line is Brian Morrow, and that's exactly what you needed to do, is dump it off there. They had trips right, so all the defensive coverage was over to the right, and McCabe was able to find the open guy.
And Morrow got the yardage, was the big thing. You saw, I think it was Shane Malone come up again, laid a nice block on the defensive back, allowed Morrow to cut back inside and get the extra yardage to get the first down, because when he caught that ball, he still had a good 7-8 yards to go.
So first down now at the 16-yard line. McCabe under center this time. Under the wrong guy. He was under his guard. Then he moves over to the center. Now he drops back and he throws towards the end zone. And Walker and Fontana had coverage on him. The ball was overthrown anyway, but he was not open.
Yeah, you got to wonder if Kevin McKay's feeling the pressure right now. He lines up under the left guard.
He lines up under the guard.
He lines up under the left guard and says, hey, you don't have the ball underneath you, so let's move over one.
Well, let's just chalk that up to a guy who was so intent on getting the play going, he wasn't really looking at where he was lining up under. There's center. Fawcett was saying, I'm over here. All right, so now it's second down, even though the down and distance marker, the down marker has first down. It is second down.
Fawcett's telling him, you should know my butt by now, you know? Come line up underneath the wrong one here.
Second down and 10 now from the 16-yard line after the incomplete pass. Let's see if Fontana will go under center, and this time the center turns around and says, I'm right here.
Yeah.
So he's under Fawcett. There goes Walker in motion. Play action again. He throws towards and complete now to Brian Smith. And it is down inside the 10 now.
That's Kurt Holloway.
Kurt McMullen with the coverage on it down to the 8-yard line. I'm sorry, C.J. Holloway. I saw the 3 and called 23 instead of 33. I apologize.
Well, you know, he tried to throw it to Holloway a couple times early in the game and overthrew him. You know, maybe a little too high, a little too far off to the side. He finds him right on the numbers that time. And look, you know, they're in position to get a first down and maybe score and take the lead here.
So McCabe under center this time. He fakes the handoff and rolls right. And he throws into the end zone and broken up nicely by Matt McCrory, who knocked the ball away in the end zone. And that was Holloway, again, the intended receiver, but he was not open. It looked like maybe McCabe was trying to force it in there a little bit, Kevin.
Well, like I said, you really don't need to go in the end zone this play, but they're going for all the, you know, they're going for everything. McCrory makes a great play there, you know, just dives off, right hand, and that bat the ball away.
And that brings up fourth down now. It is only 4th and 2. So you would think they'd want to get the first down first and not worry about the end zone, but that time they did throw for the end zone. On third down, here it is, McCabe under center on 4th down and 2. The pitch, the fake reverse. And it looks like he's gotten across that cuff. It looked like he did.
Yeah, they're going to
up for the first down, yes.
He got to about the 5-yard line, and then they you know, he got stood up and knocked over. But he definitely, you know, he paused there for a second and cut inside, and it looked like he got the positive yardage. That was a big play.
Certainly was. That was 4th and 2. They did the pitch. They faked the reverse, and it was Huff that kept it. As you said, his forward progress was definitely right there to the 5 before he was pushed back by a couple of different guys. Hopewell, Dave Vestal actually wanted a timeout before that play, but did not get it called. It was not communicated to his defensive unit. So now we have first and goal at the 5. And this is given to Huff straight ahead, and he's down to the 1 and stops short of the goal line as the clock continues to run at 1:50. Kozlowski comes up to make the stop. That was the 11th play of this drive. So we talked about the long, sustained drives by Hopewell tonight. Behind Richland, when they really need one, they've gotten it tonight. They've converted on 4th down twice. And now a timeout finally taken by Hopewell as Coach Vestal tries to regroup his troops. And this is, as I mentioned before, on the 1 4th down play for the Rams tonight, it was their season on the line. Well, right now it's the season on the line for the Hopewell Vikings as well.
And the way they dominated this game, to see the fourth quarter turn out the way it is, you could see Claire Ultimus looking up to the heavens, you know, maybe saying a little prayer. You know, this is the last thing you want to do is let it come down to Pine Richland getting one drive on you and about to be in the final drive of the game. There's still some time left if Hopewell gets the ball back. But, you know, their drives are, like we said, slow and methodical.
Right.
They move the ball. They're going to have to pass the ball if they get the ball back.
All right, the ball is spotted at the 2 now. 2nd and goal. Kevin McCabe, handoff straight ahead to Huff. Who else? This time he is stopped.
Looks like Bokar was leading the way there.
That's Craig Bokar, the junior, 6'3", 260. And that is no gain on the play. Here's another look at it, Kevin.
Well, Huff, he didn't seem to have a hole. He looked at the pocket collapse there. Didn't seem to really have anywhere to run, and he hesitated. That's all you need to give this Hopewell team. 1 second hesitation, and they're going to swarm you.
And now the clock is down close to a minute now, and that means Hopewell may not have any time left. Here we go. Third down. The ball's dropped. And Kevin McCabe has to fall on it. And so now they're going to bring up fourth down. So the season really is going to rest on one play for both teams right here. It's going to be 4th and goal from just over outside the 2-yard line. And under a minute to play now. Here's the bad center exchange, and McCabe has to fall on it before it's picked up by the Vikings.
Well, this is what it all comes down to.
4th and goal, left to 2. McCabe, handoff. Spins outside. That's tough, and he's stopped. Short.